the Atlanta North Georgia Labor Council. Around me are a bunch of our state legislators, union workers, and we also got a lot of people that have been dealing with unemployment issues, some of them up to a year. Now the signs you see on the building weren't here at 7 o'clock this morning. They were just put up before you all showed up. And I want to point out the sign there that says there's over 230,000 jobs listed on their website. Yet we still have barricades up and the doors are still locked in front of the unemployment office. So how are we supposed to get jobs, these minimum wage paying jobs? If you get laid off and you're making $15 an hour, you do not have to take a job for less than what you were getting paid before. But our governor doesn't want to listen to that. The Department of Labor doesn't want to listen to that. They want you to go ahead and go back to work for half, a third, a quarter of what you were making before, with no benefits. And so they pulled out of the federal unemployment benefit. Where's that money going to go? It's going to go to other states that are actually taking care of their working and their working people. So you're going to hear from our legislators, you're going to hear more importantly from unemployed Georgians that have been struggling to get their benefits. That's owed to them. So with that, I'd like to bring forward Sandra Williams, the Executive Director of the Atlanta Labor Council.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. We are here on behalf of workers in the state of Georgia. We know that there is a pattern of neglect here in the state of Georgia, from voter suppression to the lack of funding for Medicaid, and now this. We know that we have a number of workers in Georgia that prior to the pandemic made a living wage, but are now being forced to go back to work for $7.25 an hour, which is just simply not enough to raise a family on. So what we're asking is that you be here to support and lift up these workers. You will hear from them today, along as our Congress folks that are here today, our clergy that are here today. Make sure that the message gets back to our governor and Mark Butler, the Commissioner of Labor, that we will not tolerate this. We will not stand down, and we are here to say, open the door. Open the door. And raise the minimum wage from $7.25 on the federal end, and we have an appalling $5.15 as a state minimum wage in Georgia, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we thank you. With that, I'm going to ask for Eric Hubbard. Attorney Eric Hubbard is representing Representative Hank Johnson. So thank you.
Open up the door! 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 Open up the doors!
Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of Congressman Hank Johnson, Congressman David Scott, Congressman Sanford Bishop, Congresswoman Nikema Williams, Congresswoman Lucy Macbeth, and Congresswoman Carolyn Bordeaux, I greet you all this morning. They stand with you this morning. They stand with Georgians all across the state. The members of our congressional delegation has penned a letter to the governor, to the commissioner, Mr. Butler, on behalf of our constituents. And someone said, why is congressmen and congresswomen writing letters on behalf of the constituents? Because your Georgia constituents, Mr. Governor, Mr. Commissioner, are our constituents. When they hurt, we hurt. When they need a hand, we give them a hand. We don't need you to hit the hand. That's why we passed the Rescue Plan Act. That's why Congress worked hard to make sure that these individuals who are experiencing this hard time because of the pandemic can get a little extra help. And we don't need the governor to turn down the extra help. Because if you make a minimum wage and someone says we're going to give you extra $300 to help you out with unemployment, that's what we need. We're trying to get everybody back on one track to get through this COVID-19. We need Commissioner Butler at the Department of Labor to answer the phone. Respond to the letters that are being written. Open the door to go ahead and do what we elect you to do. Do your job. Do your job. That's all we're saying. Do your job. I have a letter here I want to read from the members of Congress, the names that I spoke of earlier, to Commissioner Mark Butler. Dear Commissioner Butler, we write today with serious concerns over the Georgia Department of Labor's ability to adequately address the ongoing backlog of benefit claims precipitated by COVID-19. There is no question that the pandemic placed an overwhelming amount of pressure on your agency to deliver the necessary relief to more than 650,000 Georgians who found themselves out of a job. While we acknowledge that factors such as initial understanding and limited technology may have prevented the Georgia Department of Labor from processing claims, there remains questions for how your agency plans to identify solutions to address the backlog that currently exists. In accordance with the Department of Labor's recent recommendation, effectively ending the state's participation in the federal pandemic unemployment compensation, pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, and mixed earned unemployment compensation programs for over 220,000 Georgians could soon find themselves unemployed and without the benefits they filed for months ago, and in some cases over a year ago. Even with a recovering economy, the state has processed over 140,000 new jobless claims every month since March, exceeding pre-pandemic levels. Recent reports also place the Department of Labor backlog of benefits claims at around 80,000 people that have not been decided.
Lord have mercy. Good Lord.
The mission of the Department of Labor is first and foremost to help Georgians who have lost their jobs, their incomes, their financial security, and they are desperately trying to provide for their families. As you know, Georgia does not provide workers with paid leave from work or universal child care. The state has a minimum wage of $5.15 per hour, more than $2 below the federal minimum wage of $7.25. And it ranks last among all 50 states. An increase in wages year after year. In the last year alone, food, child care in the state of Georgia costs $1,324,000 more than it did in the states, in other states. Our state tuition fees have gone up, making Georgia only one of 33 states where child care is expensive and also trying to keep our kids in school during this pandemic. The Georgia Department of Labor has a responsibility to do everything in its power to ensure the citizens of Georgia receive assistance they apply for in times of hardship. To that end, we respectfully request answers to the following questions.
Come on now.
No later than May 31st, 2021.
Come on now.
That was yesterday.
All right.
And even though it was Memorial Day, we thank our veterans for their services.
Right.
We want these commissioners to answer these questions for the Georgians that are unemployed.
All right. Come on now.
What is the name, phone number, and email address for the individual or individuals responsible for addressing casework inquiries from elected officials?
All right.
Number 2, what is the most recently updated number of unemployment benefits claims currently on backlog at the Department of Labor? And on an average, how many backlog unemployment benefits claims are being processed each day?
All right.
Number 3, what steps has the Department of Labor and your office taken to address gaps in technology and staffing since March 2020? And how many new employees have been hired by the Department of Labor to process the number of unemployment benefit claims on the backlog? Number 4, what do you anticipate and when do you anticipate that the number of backlog unemployment benefit claims will not meet an eligibility decision by the DOL on or after June 26th? Number 5, what recourse will individuals have to appeal a backlog Department of Labor claim that is denied on or after June 26th?
All right.
Particularly for those who have made initially been designated by the DOL as individuals who either quit their job or were terminated for cause, but have yet to receive a hearing. I mean, people want to know, if you're going to deny me, then hear me. I want to appeal so we can see what is the will of the people of Georgia and making sure that our citizens are taken care of. Number 6, what is the DOL's plan for implementing long-term mitigation tools to better inform the citizens of Georgia who have filed valid unemployment benefits claims for the status of their claims to be reached? Georgians who have lacked accessibility to affordable child care, have lost employment-sponsored health care insurance, and have concerns for their health and the safety of their family members are entitled to the benefits they applied for. They're also entitled to complete transparency and accountability from their government. We must do more to help our constituents during these uncertain times. Thank you in advance for your attention to this important matter, and we look forward to your response. Respectfully, Congressman and Congresswomen David Scott, Hank Johnson, Carolyn Bordeaux, Bekima Williams, Lucy Macbeth, and Sanford Bishop. On behalf of our delegation, we delivered this to the governor, we delivered this to the commissioner, and we're going to stay on this until reasonable and sound answers are given. Because we want them to pick up the phone. We want them to respond to the letters, and we want to make sure that Georgians get the benefits that they deserve. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Open the door! 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 Open the door!
Hello, my name is Tanika Melendez, and I am one of the administrators of a group on Facebook called Georgia Unemployment Issues. We have over 16,000 members. I came into the group when I applied for unemployment in April 2020. I was denied and was given the opportunity to apply for PUA. This is the program that saved my household from going under. Yes. Can you guys understand what it's like to receive messages daily from people like Priscilla Wooten, who have lost their homes, their cars, their livelihoods over the GDOL, not paying them a dime in months. Now Governor Kemp and Mark Butler want to take away the programs that we need most, an extra $300 in benefits, because he feels like we are not wanting to go back to the workforce. Currently, Georgia is still at a minimum wage of $5.15. The jobs that many were working before the pandemic were livable wages of $15 to $25 an hour. But these workers cannot go back to these jobs because they are still closed or hard to obtain again. Many Georgians are facing the struggle to live, keep their homes, and their transportation. So today I ask, if workers have to face our daily struggles, why can't the GDOL open their doors?
Open the door! Open the door! Open the door! Open the door!
I'm Sharon Corbening, and I'm with Unemployed Action, and I am a COVID unemployed Georgian receiving PUA, which means I'm an independent person. I am a business owner. I am a self-employed. I'm a writer, producer, and since COVID hit, I have not been able to work. And I'm not alone. Since COVID, actually since the governors and our Governor Kemp announced that he was going to shorten the extent of our unemployment benefits that, by the way, are free to the state of Georgia, paid exclusively by the federal government. He has put millions, hundreds of thousands of Georgians and millions of Americans on the line now. 2 months makes a difference when you're looking for work. 2 months makes a difference. Right now, the job markets are varied. Some of the industries are hiring, but some are not. Certainly not within my career path. But what you're doing right now, Governor, and what you're doing, Mark Butler, is you are relegating, you are assigning, you are pushing people into underemployment. Wages and salaries that cannot be sustainable. And yet you join the National Chamber of Commerce with this unbelievable narrative, saying we don't want to work. Are you kidding me? we don't want to work? Do you know how many people that, including myself, who have resumes going out, hundreds, sometimes, hundreds a week. I mean, do you know what it takes for me in my career profession is not going to the Employ Georgia website because there aren't jobs for me there. I have to network. Do you know that the average professional on a healthy economy takes 73 days to get employed if they're unemployed?
Wow.
Let me tell you who the people are you're calling lazy. You're calling those who are caretakers. I am with my 83-year-old mother.
Right.
I have fibromyalgia and I'm 60 years old.
Right.
And I'm dang good at what I do.
All right.
God has blessed me with some gifts and I do not play, and I'm not going to be told I can't use God's gifts to me to make a living. How dare you tell us what we're worth? Right. What right have you tell us that we can't live and make a living to meet the average median income and cost of living of the state? Let me tell you what that means. The median Georgian income, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, is $58,000. All right. Now, the federal benefits, which are top out at $365, averages about $31,900.
Right.
The cost of living in Atlanta is, let me see, give me a sec. You need $109,630 to live in Atlanta relatively comfortably.
Wow.
That includes past basic needs and a little extra to save for retirement, to take care of emergencies. There are people who have been, and you told me this, people who have been evicted twice. What in the world are you thinking?
Not thinking.
What are you thinking? What do you think we are? Are you so blind? Are you so sold out to the Chamber of Commerce that human beings are so worthless to you? Because you're proving it. You're proving it. So this is what you're going to do. For all the benefits cliffs we've had to endure, both by Congress and by the states, in inefficiency in sending our benefits to us, you're going to make up for it. You think you're going to shorten our benefits? Let me tell you something. The combined amount of benefits cliffs we've had to endure make up for that 2 months anyway. For those people who have yet to receive their unemployment, who've been waiting for 6 to 8 months, you can tack that onto your deadline as well. Because if you're not going to do your job, you have no right to pull the rug from under us while we're trying to do ours.
That's right.
So we're expecting you to move, and you better do it quickly.
Thank you. Ask him to take a pay cut. That's what he needs to do.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Richardson. I'm the president of the Coalition of Black Trade Unions and also a member of CWA Local 3204. It is a shame. A downright shame.
That's right.
That this man comes out here in the morning and puts this sign up talking about 230 jobs but won't give the people access. What's furthermore a shame is you've got talented people out here in this crowd who can actually go in there and help get your department straight and do a better job than what you're doing.
Come on!
If you're not going to do your job, quit.
Quit!
And then you apply for unemployment. And let's see how we do you. Alright? Georgia is always in a race for last. And why do we keep electing these folks? Because you don't go out and vote. Now, we got the opportunity in the municipal races, and in 2022, we need a new state government.
All right.
And if this happens again, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
Bottom line.
I'm going to introduce you to somebody who lost their job and had to go through what many of these folks have been through. But we're going to survive. We're going to find a way. We're going to work together. We're going to help each other. We're going to be like a whole new community. And that's going to be a coalition that you can't stop.
Being directed to the commissioner. We need businesses to step up. The ones that are making good profits, that got the tax benefits.
Come on, man, so tell the truth.
Come on now, look at your bottom lines. Can you raise your wages?
Well, that's right.
Some of them are doing so, and we are grateful. Because business doesn't work without workers, without labor. Now, in addition to unemployment benefits, this department is responsible for helping people get to the livable wage.
All right.
And to do that, we've got to upskill our workers. Because we're number one for business, folks, but we're last for minimum wage.
Yeah.
We're number one for business, but we're practically number one for poverty.
All right.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, and the efforts are put toward reopening early when it still isn't necessarily safe, without regard to people's circumstances. Put your priorities at fixing the problems, working together. I'd like to know, and I'm sure we all would, for all the stimulus funds that came into this state, I'm told very few went to this agency to staff it up, to build the technology, to be accountable. Let's talk about accountability. Our Georgia legislators have asked repeatedly, we just want transparency.
That's all.
How many claims are outstanding? How long do people have to wait? So this is about requiring, and I'm talking now to the people. People, use the vote. Remember who is for you when it's time for elections. This is about the people of Georgia. We are electing people who apparently don't care about us and our families. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Lucretia Baggett. I got involved in this because my husband was laid off on 5/5. He's a union welder. He's not a computer guy. So I was the one that had to do all the computer stuff for him. We downloaded everything they asked for. We went to IDB. We did all that. And then we tried to log on. It says you had too many login attempts. But it was our first try.
No,
Alright. Then it says, I went back and said, maybe I did something wrong. I've been an office worker all my life. I said, okay, I went back to the claims part. It said give 48 hours for the claim to be processed. That was a month ago. Okay? Alright. I've called every number I could find. I've emailed everybody I could find, including TV stations, Warnock, Ossoff, some of these folks here. Alright, and nothing still from Georgia Department of Labor. So I was at my wit's end. I joined the Facebook group, Georgia Department of Labor. I started reading we're not as in bad a shape. We have some savings. We have credit cards. We own things. So, but seeing people lose their homes, seeing people lose their cars. One lady says she lost her child because she couldn't get to the court for the hearing for her child. This is ridiculous. In America, we live in America. So it's time to vote out Brian Kemp. You're on notice. And also Mark Butler. I wish I knew how to recall him because I'd started. So I'm here as an advocate.
That's right.
I'm not showing unemployment, but I'm here to let y'all know that this is a broken system. Another thing I see, Brian Kemp get on TV. He said, "State of Georgia's open for business, right?" Yeah. Okay. Well, these doors are open. You got people that's lost their internet. Well, they need to go to the career center to try to get a job. So what are they supposed to do? They have no home internet, and then they can't go to the career center to to try to apply for a job. I worked in staffing. I know how it works. And this is ridiculous. Hear me, people. I don't care where you are. Hear me. What's going on in the state of Georgia right now, the whole country needs to know about, because this is ridiculous. This is as bad as voter suppression. This is killing people's livelihood. This is killing people's ability to live their lives. So please, 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 somebody do something.
Good morning. And don't forget Brian, what's his name? Paul Butler.
And I represent District 76 out of Clayton County. We're here again today, gathered in front of the non-functioning Department of Labor. And I stand here today to say we have been doing this for a year or more, and we still have no results for the people. I say to Commissioner Butler, you said that you have processed claims. Well, processing claims is one thing. We need to know how many claims have actually been paid in full. We're not talking about issuing 1 or 2 checks. We're talking about how many claims have been paid in full. That is something that we have been missing, because he loved to come out and say we have processed over 1 million claims. But how many of those claims have been paid to the people in full, that they have got every month of their unemployment, and they're not looking for any back money? We need to know how many claims have been paid in full. And I think when we get that information, then we can know where the Department of Labor lies. Because big lies, big lies, big lies. We're constantly talking and telling big lies to the people. That is why we are still requesting an internal investigation into the Department of Labor.
All right.
We are also requesting for our congressional delegation to do a forensic audit so we can find out where is the money. Follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Asking them to look into Scooby, where they got over $50 million to fix the technology. We are still asking for these things to be done. And we are not going to stop until the people of Georgia are paid their unemployment.
That's right.
These people have worked, and they were unemployed through no fault of their own.
All right.
And they have paid into the system, and they need to be paid. We need for you to answer the appeal process, because it is now dragging on as long as the people applying for unemployment. And something needs to be done. People are constantly losing their homes. We still getting letters. We're still getting calls every day into our office about we need help with our unemployment.
That's right.
People credit have gone to the floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have gone to the floor. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Governor Kemp? You have come out and talked about everything, but not once have you come out and talked about Commissioner Butler not doing his job in the
Right.
We need for you to stand up, and we need for you to stand up for the people of Georgia today.
That's right.
Because these are people, and some of them voted for you, and some of them did not. But it doesn't matter. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It is a people thing. All people are hurting, and we need for you all to do your job. And we need for you to open up these doors. Open up these doors so that the people of Georgia can come in and apply for their unemployment. Get the answers to something as simple as a PIN number. Communication is everything.
It is.
Communication is everything. And the people need to be able to communicate with someone.
regarding their unemployment. Open up the door. Open up the door.
Some people are struggling for food. Some people are being evicted. As we speak, we're evicted over the holidays. And you know how I know this? Because I'm still getting the calls to my office. Desperate calls from people just looking for help. I had someone call my office and was just happy to talk to my aide, my legislative assistant, because she could not reach someone here in this office.
That's right.
We here as legislators, we've done just about everything we could. We've reached out to Mark Butler. We've reached out to the governor. And we don't have a way to communicate with the Department of Labor to even help others. So we feel helpless. They have no number to call. We have no direct number to call. And we are sitting legislators and we cannot contact Mark Butler to help our constituents. We demand that Mark Butler open these doors.
Open the door!
Let these people communicate with
door!
And let me tell you, we're not talking, as some of these people are saying, these are people that have been working. They are workers, okay? They might have lost their jobs due to COVID. Now, I challenge Mark Butler and Governor Kemp to live off $300 a week.
That's right! That's
I want
right!
to live off that. These people are trying to find work. They're trying, and not only, and we're talking about work where they can live and feed their families.
That's right.
Okay, these are the type of jobs that we're talking about. So our demand today is that Governor Kemp and Commissioner Butler, we need you to open these doors. Governor Kemp likes to tell everyone that we're open for business here, but your Department of Labor is not open. These people, they get paid into a system and they are not getting a return on their money. I bet you Mark Butler is getting his pay every month.
Cut it, check! Cut it, check!
By state law, and state law also mandates that these folks are supposed to get their unemployment claims paid out. And we're not talking about new claims. There are folks that still haven't got their claims from last year. They need their money in full so they can get on their feet. Thank you.
Thank you! Recall Mark Butler. He needs to get out of office. Cut it, check! Cut it,
Good morning,
check!
family. My name is Louis Logan, and I'm a pastor in the 6th Episcopal District. I represent the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I am part of a denomination that for over 200 years has stood with workers, has stood for justice. My Bishop, Reginald T. Jackson, stands with the workers today. The 6th District, we are in solidarity with the need to make sure that the scripture is true. Muzzle not the ox that treadeth out the corn. That means don't kill the workers. You got to support the workers. You have to encourage the workers, and you have to stop lying on the workers. One big lie is that Georgia is out #1 for business. Being out for business means suppressing the workers and suppressing their opportunity to make a livable wage. That's a big lie. Studies suggest and prove that the more you incentivize and pay your workers, the more output and input your workers provide. Your bottom line is increased when you increase the bottom line of your workers. When their benefits are at an optimal level, when they can take care of their families, take care of their children, and they're not afraid of getting COVID and bringing it home to their families. When you increase the wages of your workers, you increase their output and their input. I heard a rumor. I'm not a gossiper, but I did hear a rumor that the current occupant of the governorship is a Christian and that he goes to church. And that the Bible that I preach out of, and the Bible Bishop Jackson preaches out of, says, support the workers. Do right by your workers. And God will bless your efforts. I want to bless God for all of these who are workers. All of the workers here, we want to praise God for the opportunity to stand in solidarity. And we say that if it's safe enough to go back to work, then why do you have these doors closed and you're not safe enough to answer the claims, to deal with the appellate process of those who have yet to receive their benefits for unemployment and who still are struggling through a labyrinth of a very complicated process. I'm gonna just say this on a personal level before I shut up. I was once someone who had to go on unemployment. It's a job to find a job. And it is it's unconscionable to have the very foundations upon which you are struggling pull from under you as you attempt to pull yourself up. If you don't even have the bootstraps, how in the ham sandwich can you pull yourself up? Continue these benefits. Answer the questions of the Georgia Black Caucus. Be accountable, and please know that the only real numbers involved is the few more days that you have to work, Mr. Kemp, because we getting you out of this. Mr. Butler, you gone too. Peace.
Yeah, they go get in. Good morning, my name is Marcellus Rowe. I want to get straight to the point. A lot of people are placing the blame on Brian Kemp for terminating benefits, specifically federal unemployment benefits. Let us be clear. The Georgia Department of Labor Commissioner, Mark Butler, is directly responsible for terminating federal unemployment benefits. Butler is hiding behind Kemp because he is too afraid to face the public. So Mark Butler, get ready to become unafraid. Everybody, I need you all to grab your phones or pen and paper because it's time to call, email, and fax the man that was elected by the people, Commissioner Butler. So his phone number is 404 232 7300.
Bring it out.
Fax number. Oh yeah, I'm ready. 404 656 2683.
All right, Marcellus.
Email. Mark.butler. GDOL.ga.gov. The man that Butler faced the people and reversed his decision to terminate federal unemployment benefits. PEUC and PUA monetary redetermination letters. You notice nowhere on your letter does it state federal benefits will end June 26th.
Thank you.
That just goes to show you all that Butler does not care about the unemployed. The letter states that last payable week is week ending September 6, 2021. This is misleading, and it shows us that the Georgia Department of Labor, specifically Mark Butler, cannot perform basic tasks such as effective communication. However, we are going to help you communicate effectively. So expect emails, phone calls, letters, and boots on the ground. We channel our anger, frustration, depression, and all emotional and mental pain with action. Because at the end of the day, Butler worked for us.
Yes, he does.
In closing, U.S. Senators Warnock and Ossoff, do what we elected you to do, which is fight for the people, and revise the current bill that allows states to opt out of federal unemployment benefits. We are not asking you all, we are demanding. Don't be hiding behind closed doors like Mark Butler. Face the people that elected you to do the work. I'm not a preacher, but do not touch my anointing.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Shannon Jones, President of Concerned Black Clergy. And it is always my honor to stand with those who honor the state of Georgia. It's my honor to stand with those who do the work. That's it. To make the economy of Georgia happen. I want to say that the Georgians have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. That's right. And now it's time to give Georgians what they're owed. That's right. You know, someone said that Mr. Kemp calls himself a Christian.
Come on, preacher.
Because he goes to church.
Well, goes to church.
And ordinarily, I would understand that.
My goodness.
But if you've ever spent time in a church, you know a lot of things go to church.
Yeah.
That are not a part of the church.
All right, all right.
There's certain things called church mouse. Church mice are in the church.
Yeah.
They eat from the church.
All right.
They take from the church.
All right.
But they're not a part of the church.
Yeah.
But before I preach a sermon,
come on.
Let me say this.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
To the Commissioner of Labor of the state of Georgia.
Yes, sir.
If you could send someone here with a glue stick and some signs to put up what's behind us, you could at least give them a key to open up the door.
Oh, yeah!
And allow them to pour out the funds that you are holding, possibly stealing.
Make it plain. Find out about that stealing. We gonna find out. Yeah.
Possibly fraudulent.
Yeah.
We might be watching the greatest fraud in the history of state legislation and state government right here in the state of Georgia.
Yes, sir. Come on,
So I want to tell you this.
Tell us.
Take my seat.
Tell us.
One cannot look at poverty through the eyeglasses of privilege.
All right.
You have to take off your eyeglasses of privilege to understand what it is to be poor.
All right.
You cannot look through the eyeglass of privilege and tell the poor that they should be able to make it when you are choking them and choking out every avenue that could help them. You cannot look through the eyeglass of privilege and tell the poor that they should be able to eat. You have never taken ketchup and put water with it and called it tomato soup. You have never taken a turkey hot dog and said Happy Thanksgiving. God's gonna bless us one day to get the whole turkey. You have never been poor. If you've ever experienced poverty, you would never force anyone into poverty. If you have ever had to cope with the evil of poverty, you would never push anybody into the realms of poverty. But I want to say to you today that there will be a day of reckoning in the state of Georgia. So you sit back and smoke your cigar. Drink your fine liquor. Laugh through your eyeglass of privilege at the poor. But the day is coming when those who don't know the difference of I is, I can, I will, or I will's not. Are gonna make their way to the ballot box. And they're gonna see the name of Brian Kemp. And when they see the name of Brian Kemp, they're not gonna look through the eyeglasses of privilege, but they're gonna look through the eyeglass of their poverty and see how you tried to crush them. See how you tried to hurt them. See how you tried to disenfranchise them. And they're gonna put you in the same breadline that you're denying them right now. Amanda Short is right. There are those who look through the eyeglass of privilege. And every now and then they take those glasses and they point them down on their noses and they look down on these Georgians. 220,000 who will be out of work. Hundreds of thousands who will lose their homes in just a few days. 80,000 backlog, maybe more than 100,000 on a backlog. People getting up every day and calling the Department of Labor and the doors are locked, but the sign man is there. So since you like signs, we're going to send you a sign. But before we do, we are a people of God.
That's right.
We are the rainbow children of God.
Yeah.
Since you like signs, maybe God should show you a sign. Maybe God should put a sign on you. Maybe God should take a glue stick. And a sign from heaven. And put it on your agenda. And on your face. Georgians lost their jobs to no fault of their own. Now it's time to give Georgians what their own. Georgians lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Now it's time to give Georgians what they're owed. I wish I had a choir today. Georgians lost their jobs.
Georgians lost
through no fault of their own. Now it's time to give Georgians what they're owed. Georgians lost their jobs to no fault of their own. Now it's time to give Georgians what they're owed. Commissioner, Governor, sign is coming your way. There will be a day of reckoning. Open the doors. Open the accounts and help Georgia workers in Georgia.
Here's your sign. Hold them out. 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 Hold them out.
Thank you for being here today. today to lift up the workers, lift up their plight, and to bring light to this darkness. Are there any questions?
How do we recall? How do we recall Mark Butler?
There it is.
Well, voting is very much a part of what we have to do. I think you see the people that stand before you that are with you. I think you know what you need to do when we open up the ballot boxes. We will not be deterred at all. Sir?
Hi, thank you. I'm one of the unemployed, and I haven't received any money since the 13th of April, and I'm certified every week. I'm just wondering, when am I going to get some more money? I mean, things are really tight. I've got bills, responsibilities, and there's nothing. So when do you think you all are going to start releasing some of the monies again, is my question.
Well, we are here on behalf of workers just like yourself, sir. And we are here demanding that they open the doors, that they pay workers that are currently unemployed. That is not a long-term situation. You work before the pandemic, you will work after. But the indifference that we see from Mark Butler and the indifference that we see from Governor Kemp and other legislators, don't get this right. You see a few people standing here with you today that are your state legislators in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. But there's a great number that side with Kemp. Those people need to be voted out. So we will be here. We will have a job fair with the Atlanta North Georgia Labor Council in conjunction with Nancy Flakes Johnson from the Urban League and others on June the 11th at the IBEW Auditorium from 10 to 2. We will have Marta there. We have a number of people there with jobs. Bring your identification as you would when you go to apply for any job. But our plight is to get people employed in good union jobs.
That's right.
And that's why we're here. The union is here for workers. We will always be here for workers. We ask everybody within earshot, make sure that you call your congresspeople and tell them to vote in the PRO Act that's protect the right to organize, because we are in a right to work state. Shouldn't mean right to work for less. Right to work, okay? So if there are no questions, we thank you so much.